Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk to you about retargeting, what it is, how to set it up, and how you should be using it. So before I start with this, I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview about retargeting for e-commerce and dropshipping. So what retargeting is basically serving ads to users or to prospects that have already visited your site or have already seen your ad, right? So there's two different types of retargeting. There's on-site retargeting, where it's people who have visited a page on the site, and there's off-site retargeting, so people who have viewed an ad or watched part of the video of an ad. So I've seen in like lots of groups and stuff, people like saying retargeting is the best, retargeting is like the holy grail to e-commerce, but you've got to understand that when you're drop shipping, especially low ticket products like under $50, they're more geared towards impulse purchases. And although remarketing does have a position in your campaigns, you shouldn't focus like all your energy there. I've got here that my drop shipping stores mainly sell low ticket items. And then even with retargeting ads set up, the vast majority of sales will come directly from impulse purchases on the first visit, right? So my retargeting ads probably make up maybe about 20% of all revenue generated, and that is quite a lot, but still the 80% of the sales still come through purchases off the first visit, and they're impulse purchases, right? So with drop shipping, you have a very, very short buying cycle. So I've got another e-commerce business where I sell high ticket products, so like products over $100. So stores like these, where you have products with high prices, then retargeting plays a very different role. And about 40% of my sales come and purchase off the first visit, whereas 60% of sales come through my remarketing campaigns. So, sorry, remarketing and retargeting is an interchangeable word. In Australia, we say remarketing, so I might just say remarketing in this video. Just remember, it's the same thing as retargeting. So retargeting campaigns have nothing to do with finding a winning product, right? So if you have a winning product, you should always be profitable without retargeting. So you should be getting lots and lots of impulse purchases where it's profitable without even having a retargeting campaign. So a retargeting campaign should just add an additional 10, 20, or even 30% more revenue, but it should still be profitable off your cold traffic. So there's different ways to go and set up your retargeting campaigns. There's the manual way, and then there's the automatic way or the automated way through Shopify apps. So in this training, I'm going to show you how to set up a manual retargeting campaign. But the thing about manual retargeting is that it's not set and forget. So you've got to go in and you've got to adjust your budgets depending on the amount of traffic that you're getting to your site. So it's not set and forget. So it can be quite an involved task, especially if you're getting lots of traffic to your site. But there's also automatic ways to set up retargeting. So I'm going to show you how to set up a manual retargeting. If it's too much for you or you get too confused, I would go ahead and use the app Shoelace. All right, it costs $49.99 per month, and it's called Shoelace Retargeting on the App Store. And the reason I recommend this is because unlike other retargeting apps, you use your own pixel, right? So a lot of other retargeting apps will add an additional pixel to your store and they'll manage it through their own ads manager. So you don't have any oversight of what they're doing. So with Shoelace, it creates ads in your own ads manager using your own pixel, and it automatically adjusts the bid depending on how much traffic is on your site. So it's like an automated system for retargeting. It works pretty well. I've actually got Shoelace retargeting on one of my stores because I can't be bothered to go in and do all the manual retargeting. So it is $49 a month. You make your money back easy. Even if you get like a few sales, that's your money made back. So what I don't recommend using is Retarget app. So I tried out using Retarget app for a while. So it's a Shopify app on the App Store. But the reason I don't like using this is because firstly, they put an additional pixel on your site, and then all the ads are managed from their end. So you have absolutely no oversight of what they're doing. You can choose what your ad copy looks like, but you have no idea about the campaign structure they've created. And in saying that, because you can't see it in your ads manager, you don't know how much money it's making given the Facebook ads attribution, right? So they use some weird attribution modeling. So when you use this app and on the dashboard, I've found that they like severely overreport revenue, right? Because Retarget app, although it's free, they charge you 10% of spend. So if you're spending $1,000 a month on your retargeting through Retarget app, they're going to charge you $100. So especially if you have a winning product and you're getting lots of traffic to your site, this kind of spend will add up a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some more points here before I show you the manual campaign setup. There are different ways to set up a retargeting campaign. So the complexity of the setup depends on the amount of users in your remarketing pool. So that's how much traffic has been to your site, and the length of the buying cycle. And the length of the buying cycle really depends on the product price. So my manual campaign setup I'm about to show you is going to be based on a short buying cycle where the product price is about under, say, $50. So yeah, I've told you that sites with higher amounts of traffic will need higher retargeting budgets and more segmented campaigns, because you don't want to just group all. If you get sites getting heaps of traffic, you don't just want a remarketing campaign from 0 to 30 days. You want to segment out those campaigns from like 0 to 3 days, 3 to 7 days, 7 to 15 days, that kind of thing, because you could have a higher budget for people who are visited your site the most recently, and then have a lower budget for people who have lagged and visited like 10 days ago. Yeah, and I've mentioned before that setting up manual retargeting campaigns are not set and forget. So if you want a set and forget kind of thing, I'd recommend going and getting Shoelace app. But let's head now into so what I recommend for your manual retargeting setup. So I'm going to go through like the structure, and then we'll hop into Ads Manager and I'll show you how to set it up. So I've split this out into two separate like quadrants here. So we've got the lower quadrant here, and the upper quadrant up here. So the upper quadrant here is if you're still in the product testing phase and you haven't found a winning product, and this lower quadrant here is if you've found a winning product and you're getting like a good amount of traffic to your site. So I mean, if you're still in the testing phase, like, you can go ahead and set this up. You probably get like a few sales each month from it, but it's not going to really move the needle. This here will move the needle, and this will only work if you have a good amount of traffic to your site, so you have a winning product that you're trying to scale. But anyway, I'll go through retargeting setup when you're testing in the testing phase. So I'm going to run through this quickly before I hop into Ads Manager. So if you don't understand some of this, that's fine. You'll get a better idea of how to set it up when I actually get into Ads Manager. But I also just want to say, before I start telling you this, is that there's not one perfect retargeting setup, and your retargeting setup will depend on the amount of traffic that you have, and it even depends on the type of product that you have and the product price point. So what I've set up here is like your stock standard retargeting setup, right? So there's other things that you can do to these retargeting setups. So up here, so this is the time segments, and these aren't custom audiences. You create these segments within the ad set on your DPA. In the ad set settings, right? So what I do is I include my VC and add to cart in the same ad set. I know a lot of people will split this out, and you can definitely split this out if you're getting enough traffic, and I recommend doing it down here, which I'll get to in a little bit later. But yeah, so I'll just go through this now. So in your ad set, you want to include people who viewed content or add to cart but not purchased. So 0 to 3 days. You want to have a 10% discount code in your ad copy. You want the optimization settings set to conversion. So what you can do, if you're not getting any impressions, you can switch the optimization setting to link clicks, or you can change the segment to 0 to 7 days. So sometimes you won't get enough traffic in your remarketing campaign for a 0 to 3 day segment, and you need to create a 0 to 7 day segment. And then your placement, you want to put it on the FB only in the feed in the right column. And your starting budget started at $5, and then you can move up from there if you're getting more traffic. So this is basically the same thing as this, but in this you can have a 10% or 15% discount code. Sometimes you can increase your discount code by 5% here. It just depends what your margins will allow. This will probably get you more sales, but as well it will sacrifice some of your margin. But these are all the same settings here. But if this ad becomes unprofitable, you can try lowering the budget or switching the optimization to link clicks. So anything after sort of 10 days when you're testing is really, really hard to get profitable. Especially if you don't have a winning product. But I'll show you how to set this up in Ads Manager anyway soon. So that's when you're testing traffic, if you haven't got a winning product. Now this lower quadrant here is if you have a winning product, right? So it's a little bit different here. You see we've got different time segments here. So in 0 to 2 days, it's basically the same thing as this, except your optimization. You want to optimize for link clicks, because you have a winning product. You basically want as many clicks to the product page as possible, instead of optimizing for conversion, where ads will only be served to maybe a smaller segment of people in this 0 to 2 day segment. So start off with optimization for link clicks, then 3 to 7 days, and 3 to 7 days is basically the same thing again. Starting budget is $10. If it's unprofitable, lower the budget or switch your optimization to link clicks. And you can also increase the budget as well if you're maxing out your budget each day. So these two ad sets here, I've got test here, because sometimes you can test adding these ad sets in, and oftentimes you can make revenue from these ad sets, but sometimes they just become unprofitable to run. But I would definitely go ahead and test these time segments when you have a winning product. And a lot of times what happens on these ad sets is that they get tons of traffic, because if you see 8 to 14 day segment, that's 7 days. That remarketing pool is 7 days big, whereas this is 2 days big, right? So if you have a remarketing segment that's 7 days, what you can also do if it's unprofitable is you can split this ad set out into 2 separate ad sets. So one for VC and one for add to cart. And you can do the same thing for that here. So 15 to 30 days, that's a 15-day remarketing pool. So you can also split it out and add to cart. So when I say that, I mean that you have one ad set that is people who have viewed content but not add to cart and not purchase. And the second ad set is people who have added to cart, not purchased. So that's your DPA that you want to run when you have a winning product. And so down here, this is a winning product, call it variant ad. So it's a variant of the ad that you first showed them, right? So this is 0 to 2 days. So what you want to do with this is that you want to show a different variation of the ad that you first served them. So say if it's a video ad, what you can do is this ad could be like an image of the ad. What works really well is an image of a customer using the product with review as ad copy, or it can just be a variation of the product image. Or if you have a different variation of the video, you can have like another video here as well. The segment, we want 0 to 2 days, and this has to be a custom audience segment, right? Whereas these segments up here, you can build within the DPA ad set, so you don't have to create custom audiences, but this, you have to create a custom audience. So you basically create a custom audience of people who have visited the product page within the last 2 days but have not purchased. We've got down here, it can be an image or video ad. So if it's image or video, you create the custom audience. If it's a video, you can also remarket to 95% of video viewers that haven't purchased. And then, yeah, you offer the discount code. The optimization setting is conversions. Starting budget is $10. And what you do here is you put all placements, right? So what you can also do here is you can also break this ad set out into like Facebook and Instagram. But what's happening with Facebook Ads Manager now is that when you select all placements, you can actually upload different ad variations for different placements. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that in a second. So if that was a bit confusing, that's okay, because we're going to jump into Ads Manager now and I'm going to show you how to set all of this up. And I'm also going to include this entire diagram as an image file that you can download in the resources on this video training. So yeah, check that out as well.